The next topic in CoreJava is language fundamentals. Okay, what is our next topic here? Language fundamentals. Okay, here within language fundamentals we're having some subtopics is there, right? What is the first one here? Nothing but tokens, data types, Java statements, typecasting. Fourth one is Java statements. And last one is arrays. Okay, these are the topics which belongs to language fundamentals here. Okay, first one is tokens, second one is data types, third one is typecasting, fourth one is Java statements, and fifth one is arrays. Okay, so now first of all we are going to discuss about what is exactly a token here. Okay, so what is our topic here? Nothing but language fundamentals. So first of all, why we need this respect to language fundamentals here? Okay, to design Java applications, Java has provided some building blocks in the form of language fundamentals. So what is the first one? Tokens, data types, typecasting, Java statements, and fifth one is arrays. Okay, first of all let me discuss about what is token here. What is the first one here? Tokens. Okay, before going to tokens, right, here just we need a small concept here. What is the small concept here? So how can we represent one int value here, or how can we represent one numeric value? Nothing but int a is equal to some 10, right? Nothing but just we are representing one numeric value. So in this respect to statement, right, each and everything, nothing but this thing we are calling as an Lakshmi. This thing we are calling as an Lakshmi, and even this one we are calling as an Lakshmi here. Okay, so first of all let me define what is Lakshmi. The smallest logical unit in our Java programming, right, is called as Lakshmi. Okay, so what is a Lakshmi here? The smallest logical unit in our Java programming is called as an Lakshmi. Okay, So now these all XMS, right, what we are calling as an token here. So these XMS we are calling as an token. Okay, so now what is exactly token? Tokens, right? So the collection of XMS come under a particular group called as tokens. Okay, so what is the tokens here? The collection of XMS come under a particular group called as tokens. Okay, that is nothing but what is exactly token here. Okay, okay, so let me define once again tokens here. Tokens, the collection of XMS come under a particular group called as tokens. So now if we want to implement the concept of tokens in our Java programming, tokens are again divided into subparts. So what is the first one here? Identifiers, literals, operators, and fourth one is keywords or reservoirs. Okay, so now if you want to implement the concept of tokens in our Java programming, tokens are again divided into subparts. First one is identifiers, literals, operators, keywords, and reservoirs here. That's it. Okay, so first of all, what is the first one? Nothing but identifiers, right? So for definition of this respect to identifiers, right, so just I need some small syntaxes which I am going to represent now. Basic syntax for creating a class. So what is the basic syntax for creating a class here? So nothing but class, some class name. Okay, what is the syntax for data type? So nothing but data type, variable name is equal to value. So and here we are having one more syntax, basic syntax for creating a method. So nothing but return type and some method name. So now here this class name and this respect to method name, and even this one variable name, right? What we are calling exactly as an identifiers here. Identifier. Okay, so now let me define what is exactly an identifier. So identifier is a name which is assigned to the Java programming constructs like class name, variable name, and method name, and so many things. Okay, so what is exactly an identifier here? Identifier is a name which is assigned to the Java programming constructs like class name, variable name, and method name. This is nothing but what is exactly as an identifier here. Okay, okay, so let me once again define what is exactly an identifier. Identifier is a name which is assigned to the Java programming constructs like variable name, method name, and class name. Nothing but what is exactly as an identifier here, right? Now if we want to implement the concept of identifiers, again divided into subparts. So what is the first one here? Sorry, now if you want to implement the concept of identifiers, we have to follow certain rules and regulations. What is rule 1 here? Identifier should not start with a number. Okay, identifier should not start with a number, but the subsequent symbols. The subsequent symbols may be a number, an alphabet, and even some special symbols like dollar and underscore symbol. Okay, what is rule 1 here? Identifier should not start with a number, but the subsequent symbols may be a number, an alphabet, and even some special symbols like dollar and underscore symbol here. Okay, so for suppose assume that we're having some identifier name is there, so in that some ABC 6 some dollar is there, right? So is it valid or not? It is a valid here because the first symbol, right, it is not starting with a number. Okay, but the subsequent symbols means this BC 6 dollar. Okay, these things comes under subsequent symbols here. These subsequent symbols, it can be a number, an alphabet, and even some special symbols, that is nothing but a dollar and underscore symbol. For suppose assume that I am mentioning some like this, for some ABC, right? This is a not a valid because the first symbol itself it is starting with a number. Okay, that is nothing but a rule 1 here. So now based upon this respect to rule 1, right, we're having some examples is there, so we need to discuss about this respect to examples. Okay, so if you observe this respect to fifth statement, right, so in this one, what is an identifier means employee number is nothing but a identifier name. Okay, employee number is nothing but which comes under identifier name here. Okay, so first of all, is it valid or not? It is a valid. Okay, and this one, so it is not starting with a numeric, so it is not starting with a number, so that's why simple thing, it is a valid here. So and if you go for this one, right, so first symbol also it is not starting with a number, so that is the reason it is also a valid. And if you observe here, right, so it is starting with a numeric, number, right, so that is the reason, so this is nothing but a invalid. So now EMP9 some employee nothing but EMP9 number, right, so is it valid or not? So this thing is also valid here because subsequent symbols number, only first letter should not be a first symbol should not be a number here. Okay, so this one is also valid. Okay, these things comes under rule 1. Okay, what is the rule 1 here? Once again, just I am repeating, identifier should not start with a number, but the subsequent symbols may be a number, an alphabet, and even some special symbols like dollar and underscore symbol here. Okay, that is the rule 1. What is rule 2? So identifiers will not allow some special symbols or operators like plus, percentage, star. Okay, these symbols it is not allowing except dollar and underscore symbol. Nothing but these two symbols only it is allowing here. Okay, except whatever the symbols or whatever the operators which you are having, right, that respect to symbols and that respect to operators also it is not allowing. Okay, so that thing comes under rule 2. Okay, so now based upon this respect to rule 2, we are having some examples is there, so let me discuss that respect to examples here. So first of all, is it valid or not? It is an invalid because it is having operator as a plus here. Okay, that is the reason why it is an invalid. So is it valid or not? So this thing is also invalid because it is having hash symbol. So is it valid or not? So this one is also invalid because it is having at the rate. So that is the reason it is an invalid here. What about this one? Is it valid or not? So this thing is also invalid because it is having minus operator, right? So that is the reason why it is an invalid here. Okay, what about last one? So is it valid or not? It is an valid because it is having underscore. Okay, only dollar and underscore symbols are allowed, whatever the remaining symbols or remaining operators which are having, right? So that respective thing which is a not valid here, nothing but it is not allowing first of all. Okay, where with irrespective of valid or invalid. So what is the rule saying here? So identifiers will not allow some special symbols or operators like plus, some percentage, some star. Okay, so many symbols we are having, whatever symbols or whatever the operators which we are having, that respective things which is not allowing here. Okay, except dollar and underscore symbol, these two things only it is allowing. This remaining things, whatever things which you are having, these things it is not allowing here simply. Okay, that thing comes under rule 2. Okay, What about rule 3? Rule 3, right? Identifiers will not allow spaces in the middle. Okay, identifiers will not allow spaces in the middle, nothing but it is not allowing any spaces here. Okay, for suppose even though if you are trying to providing some spaces, it is not allowing. Okay, so first of all, most of you know that if we want to print something in our Java programming, right, if you want to print something in our Java programming, right, what we are using here, so nothing but system dot out dot println. So this thing just we are using here in order to print something in our Java programming, right? Okay, for suppose this println is a predefined method. So for this respect to println method, if you are providing some space, right, it is an invalid here. Okay, it is not a valid. Okay, for predefined method names or for user defined method names, if you are providing any spaces, right, between this respect to method names, so it is an invalid. Okay, so based upon this respect to rule number 3, right, we are having some examples is there. So let me discuss that respect examples now. So first of all, here we are having a predefined method is there. So one predefined method, that is nothing but a get input stream. So this one is a invalid here because for each and every word of this respect to method name, right, we are providing a space. So that is the reason this is a invalid. So now this one is it valid or not? It is a valid here because we are not having any spaces here. So this is an valid. Okay, so till now what we have discussed here, just we have discussed nothing we have discussed here. Okay, so just we have discussed that what is exactly language fundamentals. After that, language fundamentals are divided into some subparts. So nothing but tokens, data types, typecasting, Java statements and arrays. So we have discussed that what is exactly token. Okay, so in order to get some definition about tokens, right, so even we have discussed about small concept called as an Lakshmi. So what is a Lakshmi here? So the smallest logical unit in our Java programming, right, is called as an Lakshmi. So after that, so we have defined what is exactly token, nothing but the collection of Lakshmis come under a particular group called as an tokens here. Okay, after that, if you want to implement the concept of tokens, right, tokens are again divided into subparts. Okay, one is identifiers, literals, operators, keywords and reserved words. So after that, just we have discussed about what is exactly as an identifier. Okay, what is an identifier here? Identifier is a name which is assigned to the Java programming constructs like variable name, method name and class name. So now if you want to implement this respect to concept, right, so here we have to follow some rules and regulations, right. Just we have discussed only 3 rules. What is the rule 1 here? Identifier should not start with a number, right, but the subsequent symbols may be a number, an alphabet and even some special symbols like dollar and underscore symbol here, right. After that, what is rule 2? Identifiers will not allow some special symbols or operators like plus, percentage, some star. Okay, these symbols is not allowing. So only it is allowing 2 symbols here, nothing but dollar and underscore symbols. Whatever the remaining symbols which you are having, so these symbols it is not allowing here. There is nothing but a rule 2. What about rule 3 here? Identifiers will not allow spaces in the middle. That's it. Okay, based upon this respect to rule 1, rule 2 and rule 3, and even we have discussed examples also. Okay, that's it.